Level 1. The candidate. The flashbang detonates 3 feet from your face. Your ears stop working. Your vision whites out, and somewhere through the ringing and the smoke, a voice is screaming at you to move. You move? You don't know where. You don't know toward what. You just move because stopping means failing. And failing means going back to patrol, back to traffic stops and domestics and Friday night drunk tanks. You've spent 11 months preparing for SWAT selection. 11 months of 4 a.m. runs, extra range sessions on your days off, pull-ups until your palms split open, and resealed, and split again. You told yourself this was about purpose, about being the one they call when it matters most. Selection is 5 days, 72 candidates. They will keep 14. Day 1 eliminates 19 people through physical testing alone. A 6-mile run in under 42 minutes. A dead hang for 90 seconds. Dragging a 180-pound dummy 60 yards across asphalt. You finish middle of the pack, and that terrifies you because middle isn't safe. Middle is forgettable. Day 3 is stress inoculation. They deprive you of sleep for 31 hours, then hand you a simunition rifle and tell you to clear a building where role players are screaming, bleeding, pretending to die. One of them is holding a cell phone. One is holding a gun. You have less than a second to decide who lives. You get it right. The candidate behind you doesn't. He shoots the cell phone. He's gone by lunch. You don't celebrate. You don't talk about it. You learn the first rule of this world before anyone tells it to you. Silence is the uniform before the uniform. On day 5, they call your name. You made it. 48 candidates didn't. You shake the selection commander's hand and he doesn't smile. He just says, "Now the hard part starts." You think he's being dramatic. He isn't. Level 2. The probationary operator. You're on the team, but you're not on the team. That's the distinction nobody explained. You wear the same black fatigues. You carry the same rifle. You train in the same kill house every Tuesday and Thursday. But the veterans don't look at you yet. Not really. You're a body filling a slot until you prove you deserve the slot. Your first 3 months are logistics. You load the Bearcat. You check every breaching charge. You inventory flashbangs, gas canisters, ceramic plates, and medical kits. You maintain weapons you haven't been cleared to carry on an actual call-out. You are the lowest form of life in the stack, and everyone makes sure you feel it. Your first real deployment comes on a Thursday night. Barricaded suspect. Domestic violence warrant with a firearm flag. The team leader puts you at the rear of the entry stack. Last man in. You'll cover what's already been covered. You are a redundancy. The entry takes 11 seconds. The suspect surrenders face down in a hallway. No shots fired. You never even raise your muzzle past low ready. On the ride back, one of the senior operators, a guy named Vasquez with 13 years on the team, looks at you and says, "Boring ones keep you alive." Remember that. You nod. But part of you wanted it to be more. Part of you wanted the thing you trained for to actually happen. You don't say that out loud. You won't understand for years how dangerous that wanting is. Your probation lasts 12 months. 12 months of being tested, corrected, watched. You learn to tape your magazines a specific way. Learn to move through a doorway without silhouetting yourself. Learn that the team drinks together on the first Friday of every month, and missing it once is noticed but forgiven. Missing it twice is a statement. You don't miss it. Level 3. The Breacher. They give you the shotgun and the Halligan bar, and a specialty course at a federal facility in Louisiana, where you spend 2 weeks destroying doors. Wood doors, metal doors, commercial steel frames, reinforced deadbolts. You learn to read a hinge in half a second and know whether it's a kick, a ram, or a breaching round. You become the person who goes first. Not first into the room. That's the point, man. You go first to the door. You stand closest to whatever's on the other side before anyone knows what's on the other side. You press your body against the frame, place the charge or the muzzle, and on the team leader's call, you open the world. The psychology of breaching changes you in ways you didn't expect. You develop a relationship with thresholds. Every door becomes a question. You start noticing doors everywhere. Restaurants, gas stations, your own home. You evaluate them, measure them. You can't stop. Your 8th call out is a narcotics warrant. A trap house on the east side. Intel says reinforced front door. Steel plate behind the wood. You bring a 40-pound battering ram and 2 breaching rounds as backup. The ram takes 3 hits. 3 hits is an eternity when someone inside might be loading a 12 gauge. The door gives. The team floods in. They find 4 people, 3 handguns, and $11,000 in cash rubber banded inside a cereal box. You stand outside afterward, ram still in your hands, heart rate at 160, and you realize something has shifted. You're not nervous anymore. The fear didn't go away. It reorganized. It became a tool. A timing mechanism. Fear tells you when to breathe and when to stop breathing, when to strike and when to wait. You are becoming the job. Your spouse notices. They say you're quieter. More deliberate. They say you sit facing the door at every restaurant now. You tell them it's nothing. It's not nothing. Level 4. The operator. This is the center of gravity. This is what you trained for. You've been on the team 4 years. You've executed over 60 call-outs. You've moved from breacher to a full assault position, second or third in the stack, the ones who enter the room and own whatever's inside. You carry a short-barreled rifle, a pistol on your thigh, 2 flashbangs, a tourniquet on your belt, and a fixed-blade knife you've never had to use. You move through buildings like water now. Fluid, automatic. Your body makes decisions your conscious mind won't process until minutes later. You slice the pie on a corner, and your muzzle finds a target area before your eyes fully register the geometry of the room. Thousands of hours of rehearsal have written themselves into your muscle memory so deeply that thinking would slow you down. You stop thinking. Your 15th dynamic entry is the one that marks you. A hostage situation at a motel. On Route 9, a man with a knife holding his ex-girlfriend by the throat in room 114. Negotiation fails after 4 hours. The order comes. You're second in the stack. The point man takes the left. You take the right. The suspect turns. You see the knife against her neck. You fire twice. Both rounds hit center mass. He drops. She drops. She's alive. He isn't. You don't feel anything for about 6 hours. Then you feel everything at once. In the parking lot of a gas station on the way home. Sitting in your truck with the engine running. Crying in a way you haven't since you were a child. The department offers you 3 sessions with a psychologist. You go to 2. You tell the psychologist you're fine. She writes something in her notes, and you never find out what it said. You go back to training on Tuesday. You clear the same room. You take the same corner. The work doesn't stop because you killed someone. The work doesn't even pause. You learn something permanent. The system needs you functional, not healed. Level 5. The sniper. Sniper school is 3 weeks of lying in dirt. You learn to calculate wind drift, barometric pressure, spin drift, and the Coriolis effect at distances most officers will never shoot. You learn to remain motionless for 6 hours. You learn to breathe between heartbeats. Your rifle costs $4,200. Your scope costs more than your rifle. Your spotter is a quiet man named Harden, who chews sunflower seeds and never talks about his personal life. You will spend more hours with Harden than with your family. You will trust him with your life more naturally than you trust anyone you love. The sniper role is loneliness with a purpose. You lie on rooftops, on the hoods of armored vehicles, in tree lines behind strip malls. You watch through glass while the entry team stacks below you. You provide intelligence. You report movement. And if the order comes, you take a shot that will be reviewed by 17 different people and 2 oversight committees. You take that shot once. A man holding a sawed-off shotgun to a store clerk's head during a robbery gone wrong. The negotiator says he's escalating. The commander gives the green light. You control your breathing. You press the trigger at the bottom of your exhale, between heartbeats, the way you've done 11,000 times on Paper targets. The round travels 87 yards and strikes just below the left ear. The store clerk lives. You watch her run out the front door through your scope. You watch her collapse on the sidewalk, screaming, covered in blood that isn't hers. Harden packs the rifle. You climb down from the roof. Nobody says good shot. Nobody says anything. The team leader nods at you once. That nod carries more weight than any commendation. You go home that night and sit in your garage for 45 minutes. Before walking inside, your kid asks why you're late. You say traffic. The distance between who you are at work and who you are at home becomes a canyon. You stop trying to bridge it. You just jump back and forth and hope the landing doesn't kill you. Level 6. The team leader. You own the stack now. 6 operators answer to you. Their positioning, their timing, their lives. That's your architecture. You plan entries on whiteboards and in dirt with sticks. You walk the exterior of target buildings at 2 a.m. in plain clothes, counting windows, noting sight lines, identifying where the fatal funnel will form. If someone dies, it's your plan that killed them. That weight sits on your chest like a plate carrier you can never remove. You run every scenario to failure before you run it to success. You assume the worst layout, the worst suspect behavior, the worst timing. Your team thinks you're paranoid. You are. Paranoia is the only thing keeping them alive. You make calls now that you used to only receive. You decide whether to go dynamic or deliberate. You decide whether to use gas. You decide the order of the stack and who stands closest to the threat. You put people in harm's way with a hand signal. Your 23rd operation as team leader goes wrong. A suspect fires through a wall during approach. One of your operators, a 2-year guy named Chen, takes a round through the forearm. It misses the artery by a centimeter. He's back on duty in 4 months, but that centimeter lives inside your skull permanently. You replay it. You replay the floor plan, the timing, the approach angle. You find the mistake, a half-second delay on the distraction device. Your mistake. You told no one, but you carry it every day. The brass calls it a success. The suspect was apprehended. The hostage was unharmed. Chen recovered fully. On paper, it's clean. You know better. You know how thin the margin was. You know that a centimeter is the only distance between a successful operation and a funeral you'd have to attend in dress blues. You start sleeping less. Not insomnia, just less. Your mind won't power down anymore. It runs breach plans against the dark ceiling of your bedroom. Until 3 a.m., your second marriage is quieter than your first. Quieter in a way that worries you. Level 7, the lieutenant. You don't make entries anymore. You stand at the command post behind the armored vehicle with a radio in each hand and a headset connecting you to dispatch, the watch commander, and the negotiation team. You coordinate. You authorize. You become the voice that says execute or stand down. And 6 to 12 people move or hold based on a word you choose. You manage budgets now. $1.2 million annually for equipment, training, and personnel. You fight with city officials who want to cut your funding while simultaneously demanding faster response times. You write policy documents. You review use of force reports. You attend community meetings where citizens ask why your team needs a mine-resistant vehicle for a city of 140,000 people. You don't tell them about the meth lab on Sycamore Street that had military-grade body armor and an AR-15 behind every interior door. You just say officer safety and absorb their anger. Your operators start to feel distant, not disrespectful, distant. You're no longer one of them. You're management now. You sit in an office with a window. You wear a collared shirt more days than not. When you visit training, they perform a little harder, a little more carefully, because the boss is watching. You miss the stack. You miss the clarity in the stack. The world reduced to a hallway, a door, a room. Simple geometry, binary outcomes. Now the world is politics, liability, media, public perception, retention rates, and whether the city council will approve your request for 8 new plate carriers before the fiscal year ends. Level 8. The commander. The office is quiet. That's what no one tells you about the top. It's quiet. The radio traffic goes to other people now. The call-outs happen without you. You find out about them through reports that arrive on your desk 12 hours after the breach, formatted in clean language that erases the chaos, the fear, the smell of flashbang residue, and sweat. You command the entire tactical division. 46 personnel, 3 teams, a budget, a reputation, a legacy. You've been in this world for 22 years. You've fired your weapon in the line of duty 4 times. You've planned over 300 operations. You've buried one officer, a young breacher named Tomlin, who took a rifle round through a plate gap during a warrant service in 2019. You gave the eulogy. You said the right things. You went home and sat in your truck in the driveway for over an hour. You still sit in your truck sometimes. Nobody asks why anymore. Your name is on the organizational chart at the very top of the box that connects to every other box. People in the department who've never met you know your name. They say it with a kind of reverence or resentment, depending on which side of the funding conversation they sit on. Recruits in the academy hear stories about you. Some true, some inflated. All of them belonging to a version of you that no longer exists. You attend funerals for officers in other cities. You shake hands with chiefs and commissioners and federal liaisons. You sit on advisory boards. You review national policy frameworks. You testify before oversight committees. You speak in measured language that reveals nothing and satisfies everyone. The identity you had, the one that breached doors, that cleared rooms, that lay in the dirt behind a rifle waiting for a single clean shot, that person is a ghost now. You see him sometimes in the faces of your newest operators. The hunger, the wanting, the belief that this work is the purest thing they'll ever do. You don't correct them. You've given this job your knees, your back, 2 marriages, and a relationship with your oldest daughter that exists primarily through text messages. You've watched the system consume good people and produce either warriors or wreckage, often both in the same body. The power you hold is administrative, structural. You decide who gets hired, who gets promoted, who gets sent to the schools that shape careers. You approve the training calendar. You set the culture, and the culture is the only thing that outlasts you. Some nights, you drive past the training facility on your way home. The lights are on. A new selection class is running drills in the kill house. You can hear the flashbangs from the parking lot. Muffled, distant. You remember the sound differently? You remember it from the inside. You sit in the quiet of your car, engine idling, and you wonder if any of them understand what they're walking into. The way it takes you apart so gradually you don't notice until you're standing in a room you don't recognize, wearing a rank you never imagined, missing a version of yourself you can never get back. You put the car in drive. Somewhere inside that building, a candidate is standing in smoke, ears ringing, heart hammering, waiting for the voice that tells him to move. He moves. He doesn't know where. He doesn't know toward what, but he moves. And the system opens its mouth and swallows him whole.